All right, all right, all right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you, wherever you are in this beautiful world. Welcome to our Tuesday morning Inner Circle live session. I'm your host, Ryan Carthage. We'll be joined shortly by my awesome partner, Mr. Benny Allen. Hope everybody is doing well today. Let's get to it. Let's dive in. We got some catching up to do. Things that happen beginning of the week. But let's get it. So as always, let's turn off all distractions, prepare your minds and your bodies to engage as you guys always do. And for the courtesy of everybody on the call, please ensure that your mic is muted if you're not actively asking a question or making a comment. All right. So before I get started, I do want to say welcome to the new members that we have on the call. We are glad to have you. Welcome to the family. Give you a quick rundown. What you'll see this morning, it may sound like gibberish, and that's okay. These sessions, you'll be able to ask questions. These sessions are also recorded, so you can go back and rewatch. But the biggest thing is just staying present, right? And listening to what's being said, because it's extremely important that after these sessions, you go back and you dive into the training in your back office. Important that you go through that training in the order in which that it is laid out for you. Because that will give you the foundation and help you understand what we go through and what we discuss in these live sessions. And then the questions that then come from the training, you come back to these live sessions and you ask again, right? And then you go back and you practice. And then you come back and ask some more questions, then you go back and practice. It's extremely important that you do those things. So no question is a dumb question. We created this environment so that it's open and we can help each person compress the timeframes, right? And be able to learn this skill in potentially a different time frame, right? But you still have to go through the exploratory process. Next thing is, don't compare your journey to anybody else's. Your journey is your journey. Your experiences are your experiences. So just because someone is at a different space doesn't mean that you're behind, right? You are where you are for a reason. Accept that, own that, right? And continue taking one step at a time to learn the skills at your pace. Okay. So if you got to go back and rewatch videos, go back and rewatch videos. The goal is to understand the information, not get through it quickly, right? And then make sure that you're practicing, right? Make sure that you're implementing what you're learning, because that's going to really help to connect these dots. All right. It's extremely important that you do those things. When it comes to the live sessions, we send out an email, a courtesy email. However, it's important that you log into the platform, right? That's going to be your source of truth to find the links to all of the live sessions. That's your source of truth for everything. All right. But sit back, learn, enjoy, right? Immerse yourself in the process. We're glad to have you. Welcome. And there's no such thing as perfection, right? So right now, as we're going through the section, remind yourself consistently of that statement. Perfection does not exist. It's the fallacy that keeps people from getting started with anything, right? So don't think that you have to be perfect, because nobody is, none of us are, right? And we won't tell you that we are. So not losing a trade, it's not real. You're going to lose trades, right? But it's understanding yourself, understanding your thought process, understanding your emotions, so that you can become better and take one step forward, right? We talk, the way we talk about it here is being 1% better every day, right? If you can become 1% better every day, you win. You win. But there's no such thing as perfection. There never will be, right? So glad to have you guys. So let's dive into trading economics. Caution ahead for U.S. midterms, right? In the United States, we got some elections coming up today, right? Investors around the world were cautious on Tuesday, with the focus turning to U.S. midterm election results that could sway the future of economic policy. European shares wavered and bond yields were a little changed, while the dollar strengthened and U.S. futures rebounded from early losses, right? So we'll likely see a lot of consolidation when it comes to dollar pairs today, as this election is happening. So just be cautious that either you'll see consolidation, or depending on what occurs as the day kicks off, you could see some erratic movement that may not take you anywhere. Okay. So don't get whipsawed back and forth. Just be extremely cautious and wait for your confirmations to be met, right? If you're trading any dollar pairs today. Okay. That's honestly the big news. You got Eurozone retail sales rise modestly in September. It was widely expected. Okay. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. You got Euro prices snap 3-day losing streaks, so starting to tick back up. And then over to the calendar, right? Didn't have much happening yesterday. Christine Lagarde spoke. Today we got Governor Lowe speaking, or Governor Lowe spoke at 4:30 this morning. Right, we got these elections happening in the United States, and that's pretty much it for the day. Tomorrow also pretty quiet, right? You got crude oil inventories that could impact crude oil and potentially the Canadian dollar. And you have a lot of people doing interviews, right? FOMC members, other central bank figures talking about monetary policy and things of the nature. Okay. That's pretty much all throughout the week. On Thursday, though, you have CPI. A lot of people are going to be watching this number, right? And see if this number comes in high, right? Inflation measure, okay, that people got their eyes on. And you got Governor Macklem speaking out of the Bank of Canada at 11:50 on Thursday. And then on Friday, you got GDP coming out of England, all right, Great Britain, and you got U of M consumer sentiment. Okay. So somewhat of a quiet week, but you got a couple things that peek their head out towards the end of the week. So this could be one of those weeks where it's a little slower at the beginning, and then things could pick up second half. All right. So just be aware of that. Any questions from a fundamental perspective?
No.
All right. Cool deal. We're going to take a look at some pound pairs. Did anybody have a chance to take some of those setups that were sent out last night? No? That's all right. Cool deal. We'll take a look at them, see who they are. Managing other trades. Okay, sweet. So we'll start there. We'll start with these pounds. I will work through a few of them, and we'll take a look at let's actually start where we are. We'll start with the Aus New Zealand. This one is interesting to me. I'm watching it closely. Yeah. I'm watching this just to see if we get some of this movement here. So on the daily time frame for this Aussie New Zealand, this is where we're going to start. Made some nice movement to the downside, but we've had very little retracement, right? We got a 382, matching the extension is down here in line with this is a sub-fib, smaller wave, but it's in line with the capital 382, which is this green line here. Okay, so the D extension is there. Ultimately, we're looking for price to push down to that level at some point. Okay, but I'm watching this because I'm looking to see if we get a retracement to occur first. Okay, if we do, we'll have a crown pattern set up like this, right? Get a pullback somewhere in that range, potentially deeper, right? And then we'll look for a lower push. Okay. So I'm watching this to see if we get this movement, right? That's on the daily time frame. So we're pressing down, looking to see if we get a retracement that occurs. Okay. As we go to the 4, what we'll see is we got this fresh AB boundary here, and we're just hovering sideways. Okay. Now what's intriguing about this is that the 118, 127 zone is in line with that daily 382. Okay. It's in line with this daily 380. With that daily 382. So one of two things could happen, right? We could get that press down into that 118, 127 zone before we get that retracement, right? Or we could get the retracement first and then get price to push down. Okay. So that's what I'm watching to see is if we actually get this push to the upside. We got a double bottom here, right? We got a double bottom right here in the zone. Okay. So that gives us that form of support here on the 4-hour, right? So we want to see if we do get price to turn over and get that push off of that double bottom. Okay. So as we continue going out to the lower time frames, you get to the 1, right? You got a little bit of confluence here. That double bottom is right in line with that 118, 127 zone on the 1-hour. Okay. So I'm watching this one closely from a higher time frame perspective and to see if we're able to get that push. Okay. So keep your eyes on this one, right? I'll drop down to the 5 as well so that we can take a look at it from there. So if you use trend lines as your confirmation, right? Run them to the downside like so. Then your inner trend line would come to the outermost point of that sideways push. Okay. You like that. So looking for a nice bullish break of the trend line for an entry opportunity. And then we'll look to ride that to the upside. So that's there. If you use the cloud as your confirmation, it's just pushing sideways right now through price, right? So you want to see this Kumo twist, right? In a bullish fashion, starting to get a TK crossover here, right? Your lagging span has broken through the cloud there, okay? So waiting on all of those confirmation points to be in alignment. So we need a Kumo twist if you're using the cloud as a confirmation and push that to the upside, okay? So this is one that I got my eyes on, see if we do get that retracement back to a higher price and then potentially get short from there, okay? So that's on the 1. Now, if we drop down to the 5, you got some similar confirmation, okay? You did get a 382 here on that push, right? But this is that double bottom look, closer on it, right? So we want to see if we're able to push higher here, okay? So that's what I'm looking at on this Aussie New Zealand to see if we get that push to the upside. On the 5, we've already broken the cloud and pushed sideways, starting to get, right, some bullish action to occur. So that one's already on the move from a 5-minute perspective. From a higher time frame, we're waiting on additional confirmation pieces. But any questions on this Aussie New Zealand? Nope. Okay, 1 second. Benny, good morning, bro.
Ryan, what's going on, man? Good morning. Good morning,
Man,
everybody.
not too much, man. Not too much.
It's election day, Ryan.
It's election day. It's election day. We shall see how it turns out.
Right, which means they left me at home with my kids all day.
Yes. Yes. This is a fact. This is a fact. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on the dollar, where since we haven't looked at it yet, but just overall, fundamentally, where we currently sit?
Man, well, it seems to be, trapped a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Back and forth. Coming
You're breaking up a little bit there, bro.
It's just ranging. Am I breaking up?
Yes.
Hold on 1 second. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. No, I mean, we're just ranging, right? Everybody's trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
You know, they keep wanting to bet against the Fed.
Yeah.
You know, that's what caused the sell off. I guess they think at some point they're going to capitulate and start to pivot. So we'll see. It's got the market bouncing back and forth. It's causing, you know, rallies in the stock market, but those rallies seem to be short lived.
They do.
So
They do.
You know, we'll see. They continue to say, hey, the Fed's gonna have to pivot at some point, and you know, stop tightening so much. So I think it's just a hope and a wish right now that we still don't see all the data that supports them doing that. So the dollar may continue to range. I mean, until it breaks that support, we're coming right back to that same support that we keep revisiting. You know, on these rallies.
Yep. Exactly.
You know, it makes the trading conditions a little tough. So some of the shorter term plays are more favorable for me right now because it's bouncing around so much. You know, but we'll continue to see. We got another visit of that support again. We'll see if we get the bounce and start moving back up.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So this is the dollar index, good people. Get to our current fib. There we go. And this is on the 4, right? We got that 382 push and we're just hovering sideways. This is that range Benny was speaking of, right? Coming back down to the support, right? And so we'll see if we push back to the top of that range, to the top there. All right. So the dollar's just sideways, tons of indecision right now. Okay. But I agree, man. I agree. We'll see. We'll see what that CPI comes out on Thursday. Let's see if that changes anyone's tone.
Yeah, that's gonna be a big one.
Yeah, for sure. Michael, yes. After the session, I will get that one posted into the Telegram. But on your station, write it down, right? As we go through these in these live sessions, you know, take your notes and make sure that you have them noted, right? And you have them marked up as well so that you understand what you're looking for in those scenarios, right? Any questions on the dollar index? No? All right, cool deal. Hey, no doubt, man. Appreciate you. So let's I want to take a look at these pound pairs. So pound Aussie. And I had my stop too tight on this one. But from a daily time frame perspective, right? We're on our way down. Shallow retracement, price pushed into that 118, 127 zone, try to give us a double top look, and then bang, push down. We got a nice retracement that occurred, and now we're turning over and we're pressing back down. Okay, turn over and pressing back down. Daily 382 is down here. This red line, 70247. All right, so we got a little ways to go there. Not able to take that line out right now, but we're moving down as expected. Okay, we'll get to the 4. Right, same deal. This is that retracement, and then this is price turning over and pressing down. Okay, so we'll likely, if we get to that daily 382, right, we'll take out the A on this 4-hour time frame. Okay, so we're pressing down. So overall, right, managing this, what we're looking at is 80-20 on the daily time frame, right? And we're managing off of these levels. Okay, so as we go down to the lower time frames, you'll see fibs running to the upside and you're getting those deep retracements, but you got to remind yourself that the higher time frames control the lower time frames, right? So if that's true, right, we're looking at this level, right, 70247 as your take profit level. So as those deep retracements on those up fibs on the lower time frames, right, price is pressing deeper, you got to remind yourself overall bias is down short, right? So as you get those deep retracement levels, this is a scenario where you may play those reversals at deep retracement levels with a little bit more caution if you're going to take it, because you know that your overall bias is short from a long-term perspective, right? So it'd be more of a retracement as opposed to a trend reversal, right? Or trend continuation. So here, right, you're down, you got a 618 retracement, right? 786 retracement. That's not saying that price is going to come up here in this scenario, right? Higher time frame controls the lower time frame, so we're looking at price continuing to the downside. So this push up is just a retracement for price to then continue down. You guys follow me on that? Okay. So price moving to the downside. This is our trend line to the upside. That trend line got broken and retested. Bang. Pullback. Now we're looking for price to make another extension push to the downside. Okay. So that's your 4-hour look on your one, right? This was the look coming out of that zone, choppy, trend line break, price was going to the downside. Okay. Similar to that 4-hour, right? So we had this nice, beautiful retracement that came last week, right? Or I'm sorry, not last week, but Friday, right? Through yesterday, right? And now we're turning over and pressing down. Okay. What I posted in the Telegram last night, I think I posted this one. I may not have. Which ones did I post? Pound yen. Nah, I just did pound yen in euro dollar. I missed this one, but what you had last night on the 5-minute time frame, shallow retracement, price pushed into the 118 and 127 zone, sideways, that consolidation period, right? And then bang, price broke down, right? So right now, price is up almost 100 pips to the downside, headed to that 382 off the 5-minute, right? So this is a trade. I didn't get to post this one. I thought I did, but I missed it. But to the downside, right? Now we're starting to get a little bit of retracement, but we're looking for price to continue to the downside there. Can you expand on the higher time frames for the low time? So the higher time frames, you have a lot more data, right? So those levels, they'll be stronger, right, than your lower time frames, which is less data, less information, less price action. So the higher time frames will always be stronger levels than your lower time frames. You'll see your lower time frame levels get broken more often, more frequently, as opposed to your higher time frames. They won't get broken as frequently. Those levels, there's more information there to tell you this is a stronger level or not, right? So the higher time frames, because those levels are stronger with more information, more data, they will control the lower time frames. The lower time frames will build out, right, what's happening on the higher time frame. So that's what I mean. I hope that helps you understand it. But because there's more information, because there's more data, those levels will hold stronger. Those levels will hold more true than your lower time frame levels will. So when you see 80-20s on the higher time frame, or that's why when I talk about, when people have asked, why don't I mark up support resistance on the 4-hour or the 1-hour, or the 15-minute, right? And I just stop at the daily time frame, because the higher time frames, those levels are stronger. They hold more information. So those levels generally hold more true than your 5-minute support resistance, your 15-minute support resistance, right? They're stronger with more information, right? They've been tested more times. So, yeah, hope that helped. Cool deal. So that's the pound Aussie on the move to the downside, right? Overall, right, we know our bias is to the downside. So this was an opportunity to get short if you weren't already in it on that move down, okay? So we'll see if we get a pullback and then a continuation here on the 5-minute time frame to continue making that move short. Okay, so that one's already on the move. The other one I did post is the pound yen. And on this pound yen, right, from a higher time frame perspective, right, we know we hit the D extension on the weekly time frame right there, trying to make our way back down, get to the daily, similar deal, right? We got shallow retracement. Didn't quite get into that 118, 127 zone, right? But this push up is what got us to that weekly D extension. Okay. Now we're making our way to the downside. Okay. Down, got a high price, right? And now we started pressing down again. Okay. As we continue to move through the time frames, see here, right? It looks funny, but you got potentially this head and shoulders pattern here. All right. If this continues, whoops, to the downside like so. We'll see if that plays out. But you got that working here in this zone, right? Head and shoulders reversal pattern, right? Only before you got that 382, right? And price is trying to turn over and press down. We'll see if we're able to break this support and continue pressing to the downside. That's yet to be seen. We'll continue to monitor it from that perspective. Okay. We got a question?
I do, Ryan. Morning, Ryan.
Good morning.
How are you?
Doing well. How are you, Ms. Denise?
Thank you. What is the significance of the head and shoulder? I notice you always draw that out. What's the significance?
It's a harmonic reversal pattern.
Oh.
Right. Okay. So you see patterns form in zones of consolidation, right? And okay. They tell you, or they're an indication that price could be changing direction.
Oh, okay.
Right. Fair indication enough. That price could be changing direction. So you have different patterns that, different types of patterns with different formations to them. But the ones I see the best, right, are head and shoulders patterns and king's crown patterns, right? Yes. And ultimately what it is, right, you hear Benny say this a lot, it's a fight between the bulls and the bears, right?
Oh, okay.
Right, you have price push up, and it's just range bound, right? Meaning it's consolidating or moving sideways, but it creates this pattern.
Oh, right?
And ultimately, there's an agreement that this is a range that price is good at for now, right? Until price breaks out in one direction or the other.
I see.
Okay. So here, right, and how you see it for a head and shoulders pattern is you have a left shoulder, right? Okay. Price comes down to a level of support, pushes up, takes out the previous high, then it comes down and breaks your trend line.
I see.
Right. Okay. Comes back to that level of support, and that level of support holds, right? Which you'll hear people talk about it as the neckline, right?
I see.
Right. And then you get a push back up to a level of resistance, right?
Okay.
And then price will come down and break that neckline.
I see. Okay.
Right. Price will come down and break that neckline, because there's some people that trade this pattern, right? They wait for the break of the neckline, and then they'll look for a pullback and a retest of the neckline to then trade to the downside.
Oh, okay.
Right?
All right.
So depending on when you see it and how you see it, right, can determine when you trade that particular pattern. But that's the head and shoulders pattern. Now I'll show you a king's crown pattern, which you'll hear people call it a lopsided head and shoulders, and that's not accurate. It's a different pattern with some of the same characteristics, but some different. Right. So I'll show that here shortly. But that's what it is. It's a harmonic pattern based on price action, right? That gives you an indication that price is potentially changing direction.
I see. Okay. Thank you very much, Ryan.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Carolyn, it's true, right? You're learning new skills. You're learning new skills. And in that learning of new skills, you make new neuronic connections, and you create new habits. So it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. All right. So Good question. Good question. So that's the 4 hour, right? We drop down to the 1 and we see things a little more clearly here. Okay. That's that break, that pullback, and then price turned over. Okay. So what I was looking at last night on the 5-minute time frame is this. Right? You had a shallow retracement. Price pushed into the 118, 127 zone, and it started making its way to the downside. So we're headed to this 382 off the 5-minute, right? So people that trade intraday, shorter time frames, not looking at those swing trades, right? This is an opportunity that price moved, right? From the high, we're up 140 pips, right? That 382 is 173 pips to the downside, right? That one trade could have made someone's week. Okay. But that's where we are. So we'll see as price presses to the downside, we'll see, right, if we're able to get back to this level of support, which is quite a ways away still, right? You got another almost 300 pips to the downside if it gets back to that support level. And then we'll see what happens from there from a higher time frame perspective. Okay. Questions on the pound yen? No?
No.
Cool deal. And there are some others that I did not get to, like the pound CAD, right? So similar to the pound Aussie, right? And that pound yen, right? Shallow retracement, push up into this 118, 127 zone on the daily time frame. Price turned over. Okay. Now we got a pullback here. And we'll see if this holds. And we'll see if we're able to break this level of support. But price is trying to turn back over and press down. Okay. Get here to the 4. And this is what that looks like. You got a 382 push here, but we weren't able to break out to the upside, right? Price turned over and pressing down. Okay, pressing down. All right. So we're moving to the downside here. So we want to see, right, as we come back down to this level, previous level of support, right? Does this level hold for us, or are we able to break that and continue pressing lower to get to this daily 382, which is here? Okay, so that's our daily 382. We'll take that down to the lower time frame so we can see it, right? So as we're moving through this process, right, are we able to break these previous levels of support to get down to this level? Okay, price turned over, trying to press down. Okay, come down to the 1. You had a couple scenarios here, right? On the 1 hour time frame, you had this shallow retracement, right? Less than the 382, pushed into the 118, 127 zone, and price turned over. Okay. So that's one scenario where, right, from a 1 hour time frame perspective, you had a trade opportunity here. Bang, price pressing down. All right. Let's see how price responds at this daily support level. Okay. What's your target on that, Joy? That 149?
My target. Actually, I got 139.65.
39965. You got
But
a deeper move on that. Okay.
yeah, my second entry stopped me out when Sunday came. So I'm just gonna hold on to this one.
Okay. Okay. No doubt. Good work. Good work.
Yep.
Moving in your favor, right? So there's the opportunity there, right? Shallow retracement, 118 to 127 zone, consolidation, breakdown, right? So now we're headed down. We'll see how price responds there. And then we have opportunity, like I said, coming down to at least that 149.705 level. Okay. Which is 490 pips to the downside. Okay. As you get to the 5, you had a similar look. right? Shallow retracement, 118, 127 zone, wasn't able to push to the D extension. Price turned over and is breaking down, right? 5 minute 382, 5 minute 618, in line with that previous daily support. Okay, so that one's already on a move to the downside. We'll see if we get a pullback and then a continuation short. Okay. Questions on the pound CAD. All right, higher time frame, controlling the lower time frame. Shallow retracement. We'll see if we get this breakdown, come down to these lower levels. Overall bias is short. All right, cool deal. Pound dollar. Overall, our bias has been short for quite some time, right? We got this nice pullback into the 618 retracement level, getting some sideways action, right? Got a nice retracement, and we'll see if these daily levels hold for price to start breaking down to the downside. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to update this. That's our new resistance level. This is, nope, not a support level yet. All right, that's our low. We need this daily candle to close for that to be a support. So that's our new resistance. And then this is a support we'll watch there. Okay, but overall, looking to see if we get price to turn over, start making those lower highs and lower lows to get us down to this daily D extension 91,830, right? At least into this green zone here, right? Getting to parity at $1 and then potentially to the D extension, which is lower. Okay. So we'll see at some point, right? We'll get price to turn over and press to the downside in favor of the dollar. Okay. As we go to the 4, right? On the 4, we also got a little confluence here, right? Deep retracement level, 8-6 retracement, didn't take out our A, and we got this sideways push, right? So we'll see again, right? If we're able to continue to turn over and start making those lower highs and lower lows to break these levels and head lower, right? And that confluence of this green zone, right? Got an 8-6 retracement. So the matching D extension is here at this 118 level, which is in line with, right, this green zone that we have marked out from our weekly time frame. Actually, no, our monthly time frame, sorry. From a monthly perspective, right, we got a 50% retracement, matching D extension is there. All right, so it's a long-term destination that we could be headed to. Okay, long-term destination that we could be headed to. Right, and then on your daily time frame, right, you got your D extension here. Right, 618 retracement, matching D extension is there. It's in line with that zone. And then your additional confirmation on the 4-hour time frame, 8-6 retracement, matching D extension is at 101, which is right there. Right, so this zone is what we're watching for an overall target as price once it starts making its way to the downside. Okay, as we get to the 1 hour, right, a little more confirmation for us. Right, have a potential turnover and press to the downside. We got an 8-6 retracement there. Right, we got that consolidation and price started breaking down. Okay, price started breaking down. So we'll see if we break that daily level. Now, as we get to the 5, right, here was another opportunity for us. Take the cloud out so we can see it clean. Here, shallow retracement, 118, 127 zone. Price tried to give us a double top scenario and breakdown, right? So we're headed down now. Okay, so we'll see what happens when we get to that daily support level. right? But overall, bias is looking short, right? From a higher time frame perspective, you got a deep retracement, right? So looking for price to head down at some point. Okay. Questions on the pound dollar? No questions there. Cool deal. Euro GBP. Overall, it's just been wild, right? It's been a wild ride on it. We got this crazy reaction to policy changes and all kinds of stuff coming out of the Bank of England, right? Come down to the 4-hour time frame. This is our active fib, got a sideways push, but we got a 382. It's just back and forth, right? As you get to your lower time frames, right, you see kind of the wackiness, and it's just really, really indecisive, right? You got this nice pull back here, push down. So you want to see what happens, right? So on the 5, you got this. You had this crazy pullback here, right? We talked about last week. If price got down to this support level, right, we look to get long on it, and we wanted to see it break this level here at 88,639 as well, right? So we got this beautiful push to the upside, and now we're getting a retracement coming out of that nice impulsive move, right? So this retracement occurred. Now we want to see, do we get back long again, or do we turn over and continue pressing down, right? So understanding that, coming here to coming here to the 5, right? This was that move to the downside, that retracement, right? Fresh AB boundary, and you had a shallow retracement. Price pushed into the 118, 127 zone, and now we're moving back up. You guys see the trend there? All right. So pressing back to the upside, we'll see if we're able to get to this 382, right? And then potentially that 618 level. Okay. Questions on the Euro GBP? No, it's a wacky mover, but it every now and then you catch some good scenarios coming out of it, Joy.
Can I take a look at your 1 hour?
Yeah.
Again.
So you can look at this from two perspectives, right? One perspective is price moving to the downside here, right? And this is just your consolidative move, right? So it's really, really wacky. You got a 618 retracement. Price wasn't able to break out to the downside, came into that support level we're looking for, and then price started pushing back to the upside. So this fib doesn't really serve you much because it's consolidation, but you can look at it from that perspective and look for that A to get taken out at that level that Benny's watching at 88,671, right? Once that A gets taken out, then, right, you can look to get long from that perspective. The other perspective is this, right? Because you got some rangy action here, right? You can run your fibs off of the low, like so, right? And what you had is, right, you got a 382 push here, but price stalled in this 118, 127 zone, and that gave us this breakdown here, okay? And so this breakdown is what I then looked at on the 5-minute time frame. This was strong impulsive move down, right? And looking for that pullback here. So what you could see here and this is a potential, we could see another push to the downside at some point. But what you could potentially see happen here is a crown pattern formation if this resistance holds, right? We took out the previous low, right? Now we're pulling back. And then if that resistance level holds, we could see price push deeper and come back down into this zone. That's a potential opportunity there. If price turns back over, we'll see. Because you already got a 50% retracement, so it could be headed higher. right? But if this crown pattern forms, if this resistance level holds, right, we could see a deeper push back to the support level. So two different ways to look at it, right? You got a 50% retracement, so you definitely can trade that to the upside off that 50, right? Or if price gives us another push to the downside, right, we'll look for it to come back to the support level, and then we'll look for potential buying opportunities, right? Again, it's all going to be within this range though, right? It's just pushing sideways at the end of the day, right? That's why Benny's waiting on this higher level to get broken, right, for confirmation that price is gonna go long. A couple different ways to look at it, right? And so that's the one. Like I said, this retracement here is what I then looked at on the 5-minute time frame. This area here is what I looked at on the 5-minute time frame. Nice move down, strong impulsive move, right? Looking for the market to take back some of that, right? Make sense?
Got it. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Questions on the Euro GBP? No? All right, cool deal. That's that. I saw somebody posted Euro USD. Let's take a look and see what we got rocking. Another nice retracement here. Price is trying to turn over and press down. We already got a 382. Looking for price at some point to head down to this matching D extension at 93,121, right? At some point. So let's see. On the 1 hour, let's clean this up a little bit. I'm sorry, on the 4 hour. Bouncing around here in this range. Okay. I was looking for price to come up to this level. Didn't quite get it yet. We'll see if it does or not. But we got a 618 retracement, and then price turned over. And this was that push back to the upside. Okay. So ranging a little bit there. We dropped to the 1. Got an 8-6 retracement. Price is trying to clear out. It should be finished. We might get one more push to the upside to finish out this fib and close that out. So that will give us a new opportunity there. Something like this. That's on your 1. Okay. So we'll see once that clears out. This is a little fib is a little bit behind. Yeah. We got a nice push to the upside there, right? Strong bullish move, nice retracement. Okay. So as we get down to the 5, right? You see it's just consolidation. It's just sideways push. It's back and forth. So we come down to the 5. Let's see. Not an 80-20 scenario. You got almost a 50% retracement here, but price did turn over and is trying to press down to the downside. What'd you see here, Carolyn? What were you looking at? What were you looking for? Right. What rules were met for you on a sell here? All right. So that's where we're sitting, right? Coming back down, looking for a move to the downside. We'll see if price turns over here or if we get a push back to the upside, right? I'm still waiting on this, looking to see if we get another push to the upside to get to this level. We'll see. Cool deal. But that's on the 5. Not much for me there. You could potentially get short, but you already got a 50% retracement there. So we'll look to see if we get that pushback to the upside to give us a different high price. Okay. That's the Euro USD. And we got a few minutes left. Those are the ones that I have my eyes on. Double check one thing. Yeah, Aussie, GBP. Yep. Euro Swiss. Let's take a look. Euro Swiss. It's been making that move to the upside in a beautiful way. Got some consolidation happening here, right? Let's see. Nice push, right? Shallow retracement, 118, 127 zone. We got that nice push out of the zone there, right? Headed to that 382. On the 4, though. On the 4, we're sitting in this 118, 127 zone. So it's going to be interesting to see if we're able to break back below this level. All right. If we stay above, definitely looking forward to continue moving to the upside. If we come back down and break back below, could be in for a retracement. We'll see. That euro is still overall been pretty bullish, even though President Lagarde did change her tone a little bit. So we'll see if we see some retracements come out of this, right? So this will be something to watch, right? To see if you get a break back below this level and for price to hold below 80-20 scenario on the 4, right? So something definitely keep your eyes on from a longer term perspective. Here on the 1, you got a nice deep 618 retracement, right? With the matching D extension there. Overall, my bias is long here, with the potential for a retracement to come. We'll see. We'll see how CPI data comes in and see how the week finishes out. But if we stay above this weekly level, right, I see us pushing higher, right? If we break below that, then we'll be looking for a deeper retracement to occur. Okay, that's kind of what I'm looking at from that perspective. Yeah. What are your thoughts on it, Joy? What are you looking for?
I seen that 80-20 on the 4 hour,
Yeah.
and I set my limit order, and so it's just at that that I forgot what your red is. Your red is your daily, right?
Yeah, red is daily.
Yeah, that's what my limit order was. So I've been holding since the 27th. So and I was like, and I started seeing it climb. I was like, I let it go, but that's what I did to Great Britain Nord, and I let it go. And I was like, dang, I could have kept it in. So I'm in that scenario again.
Okay. Yeah, manage it accordingly. Good work.
Yep.
Good work. Okay. We'll see what happens there. Okay. Benny, you got anything that you got your eyes on outside of those outside of the dollar pairs?
No, sir. Those are some great setups that you posted last night. I did get my heart broken though. I was in a pound NZD short that I moved my stop to break even before I went to sleep. And it swung back. It swung back on me, broke me even, and then dropped.
Man, I had a similar scenario in that pound Aussie, so I feel you, man. I had my stop too tight on that pound Aussie. I got stopped out, and then it fell.
That was painful waking up this morning saying that. So it is what it is.
Yeah.
This morning. Now you know how I feel. That's what happened to me the last time. I was like, okay, everything looked good. Let me put my stop loss in. I woke up. Dang, it ain't had to do me like that. I mean, that wick, it's that wick. It's funny how that wick can bring you in, but it'll do what it won't.
That's exactly what it was. I got wicked out.
Right here.
Yep. That's it.
And I want to say it's about the 2 o'clock hour that I started paying attention to, that when the London session come in, it gets real crazy, and then it started wicking everywhere, but then it'll just continue where it's going.
Yep.
Yeah, that one hurt my feelings, but you know,
it happens.
Man. Yeah, that one, something just didn't sit right with me this morning on that one, man. I was
I'm with you, bro. I'm with you.
That one hurt me to my soul. So anyway, it's all good.
I'm with you. Let's see. From a higher time frame perspective, right? Price been pressing to the downside. Got that trend line break, strong bearish movement. We'll see what happens there, right? But that's what we're looking for. Break, retest, continue pushing down. We get to the 4. Right? And this was a beautiful opportunity from a longer term perspective. Shallow retracement, 118, 127 zone. And it's just been making its way down ever since. Right? So what Ben was looking at, like we looked at on the 5, right? This retracement and this price turning over to continue making its way to the downside for a deeper push here on the 4. Okay. We get to the 1. Similar deal to the 4, right? You had your shallow retracement, 118, 127 zone, not able to get to that D extension, right? Stay below that daily level. And you got price breaking down, right? Price breaking down. So when you get to the 5, right? Strong move to the downside, beautiful retracement, okay? So when you get to the 5, right? This is what Benny was looking at. Shallow retracement, pushed into the 118, 127 zone, wasn't able to get to that D extension there, turned over, pressed down, right? Still in that 118, 127 zone off of this consolidation, and price started making its way to the downside, gave you a spike up and then fell, right? So these pound pairs all made similar moves. Man, I feel you on that, bro. Pound pairs made similar moves to the downside, right? Some beautiful price action happened there. Okay. So that's the pound New Zealand. Any questions on anything that we covered this morning? You had some, bro?
I did take the there was a dollar Swissy on the lower time frame. It's starting to move. It's starting to move a little bit.
I haven't even set this one up in a while. Let's see.
Right.
I'll let this one alone for a minute. Let's see. Come back out and clean it up a little bit. Whoops. Hold on 1 second. Support level there. So that's on the daily time frame, right? It's pushed down, and then you got a retracement happening here. Get to the 4. Let's see. So deep retracement here, right? We traded that to the upside. Then this strong retracement, right? Back down to the support level. And price is trying to turn over, right? We talked about the dollar being in that range, right? Price is trying to turn over and press to the upside, right? So we'll see if we get that push back up. So as we get down to your lower time frames, right? 618 retracement, we're back in that 618 retracement level. kind of a crown, no, not a crown pattern, but push down, retesting this consolidation there. And this is that push that Benny's talking about on the lower time frame, right? So we're trying to get price to turn back over. Already on the move there. Let's see. You had your fib running from the top on this one, bro. So shallow retracement, 118, 127 zones, that sideways push here, right? You run your trend line to the downside, right? Coming into your trend line here, but you got this push, right? So this is what he's saying, coming out of that 118, 127 zone, starting to push to the upside, all right? So there's an opportunity for you if it meets your rules, right? For this move back up. Okay, shallow retracement, 118 to 127 zone, pushed up, pull back, retest, and now we're trying to make our way up. Questions on this dollar Swiss? That's a good setup there, bro. Nope. All right, cool deal. Any questions on anything that we covered this morning? Benny, you got anything before we close it out, bro?
No, sir. Great session as always. Look forward to seeing everybody tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Appreciate you, man. Everybody have a phenomenal Tuesday. We'll see you tonight, 9 p.m. Peace.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You're welcome.
Thank you.